Swing it. Yo, here we are. How you doing?
Good, good. What's going on, Lou?
Good. I don't know if I even need these or not, but I'll try them for now.
I'm gonna plug mine in too, so give me a second here. We'll get started.
Yeah. We are live. Awesome.
I can hear you. Cool, good.
Excellent. So I say Amani. Is that how you pronounce it?
That is exactly how you pronounce it.
Oh,
Amani
wow.
Channel.
Because I'm from Boston. I figured I was pronouncing it wrong. So anyway, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Pleasure to be here.
I want to ask you about the stuff you're doing because it's really cool and really needed. And I sent out an email about it. Was it today or yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
I get your emails.
Oh, cool. So I thought, since we're both like video guys, it's like, well, let's go live and see what happens. We'll just do the Facebook Live via StreamYard.
Yeah.
Give it a shot. So I don't know if people will, maybe they'll pop on. If they have questions, we'll answer them. If not, I'm recording it anyway, so we'll have it for posterity. But I did want to ask you about your what you're doing now, and I know you're doing a webinar tomorrow.
Yeah.
So what's that about?
So yeah, that's all. I'm calling it my video confidence masterclass. So it's gonna, a lot of folks maybe they want to make videos in 2019 in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
and folks they're really weird about making videos. Like it can be a very scary, intimidating thing, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we're hitting 2020, and the numbers all say that you got to be making videos, especially if you're in business. People want to watch videos. We're accustomed to watching TV, so internet's the new frontier, right? You got to be on video, and some folks just haven't been able to conquer that hump. So a couple of years ago, my story goes, I used to be a news reporter.
Yeah,
and, you worked in TV as well.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
So you were on camera. I was off camera. So you were like,
I was like a deer in headlights when I first started, and I really struggled in my first 3 or 4 years. Like I just couldn't figure it out. I would get anxious. I would get nervous. I forget my lines. I would say I would stutter. I would stumble. And a lot of folks, maybe some of your viewers can relate to these challenges.
Yeah.
And a mentor finally took me aside. He was a fake cameraman. He was like, Amani, a lot of people at the station, they like talk about you behind your back. And it was my second job out of TV. So I was young. I was working in Tampa. It was a big market. And I was just green, and he was like, what's going on with you? And I was like, well, no one's really helping me. And so, he decided to sort of help mentor me. He gave me tough love. He coached me. He would count my ums. And what he did, Lou, one day I was doing a stand-up, and I was like doing the reporter thing, like, kind of yelling. I was yelling. I was really yelling. And he was like, take his earplug out of his ear. He's like, dude, why are you yelling at me? And I was like, I thought that I was doing what I was supposed to do. I was trying to be an official, reporter. And he said, Amani, I think somebody gave you some bad advice. He said, you're trying to be like this guy who's not really like your personality. He was like, why don't you try to be like this guy? And he wasn't saying copy his style. He was just saying emulate him, right? And when he said that, the light bulb kind of went. I realized that I could be myself on camera. I could still be a news reporter. I could still be authoritative. I could still present my information. But it helped me relax a little bit, and it helped me figure things out. And so I was talking to some folks a couple of years back, and I was like asking them about their challenges. They were like, some people had, perfection. They had imposter syndrome, the whole things people go through. One lady I talked to, she couldn't remember her lines. Her mind would go blank. And so I kind of started working backwards and started working through the things that I did to improve.
Right.
And what I wanted to do is I wanted to systematize it. So something that anyone could do, like, it doesn't matter your business or your background, but if you follow these steps, you'll be able to figure it out and start making videos. And so I call the video fearless, right? Because you want to be fearless when making videos. I say you just want to be a little less fearful, right? If you're just a little less fearful each time, it's going to get easier. And so, tomorrow I'm having a masterclass where I'm going to teach my formula. I'm going to teach production techniques, because really there's two sides of it, right? People are either scared of the equipment, or they're scared to share their information. I'm sure you find the same thing as you work with people, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just, I don't know what to say. I don't like how I look on camera. I don't like the sound of my voice. It's like, well, you were trained professionally to do that. And then if a reporter has trouble with it, you can imagine that, the average entrepreneur may have trouble with it too. But so that's really good that you're doing that, because really the number one, stumbling block just seems to be, I don't know where to start. I don't like being on camera. I don't like the way I look. I always tell the story about when I started, my kids were really little, And I'd like drag them over here. I had twins. There were maybe 3 or 4 at the time. Come and be in this video, so I don't have to be the center of attention. Then I did costumes. I still do costumes once in a while, just for fun. Anything to take the focus off me. And then I finally just realized, like what you said earlier, just relax and be yourself. And it's not life or death. It's just it's just video.
It's really not. And it's like, some people are like, what if I mess up? Well, I mean, just keep going, right? Or do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're first starting out in news, you're not going to have a huge audience, right? I mean, you're not going to have like 1,000 viewers on a live Facebook Live. So maybe 1 or 2 people might see it, or 5 or 6, or maybe 10 or 20. But people are very forgiving. They understand that it's not the easiest thing to do either.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like you, I'm introverted, right?
Yeah.
That's a whole other dimension too, because we'd rather be behind the scenes instead of put ourselves out there.
Yeah.
But I really think, I don't know if you've experienced this, Lou, but I really think that introverts have an advantage when it comes to speaking on camera, because we're not speaking to like a massive audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're just speaking on one camera, and it's, can sit there and just chill, and we can share our information and keep it moving. So
yeah, and I've gotten used to kind of like, okay, nobody's here, so I don't mind making a fool of myself. And when I dressed up as a doctor or something last week, and somebody's like, I thought you were an introvert. I'm like, I was all alone, just talking to the camera. So that part's easy. But
exactly, it really is.
Yeah, but the thing you said about being natural and being yourself is huge, because a lot of people think that they have to like put on that reporter face or that TV face when they are doing video, and it's like, you know what, maybe tell me if you disagree, but I think TV is video now, video's TV. There's such a blurring of the lines between professional CNN. I mean, CNN has guests on from Skype. It's like, well, if they can Skype people in, then we can do this.
So. Look at TMZ. TMZ has Skype commentary, and we have a show at Fox 5 where I work.
Yep.
And they have guest bloggers on, they have radio personalities on, they have all sorts of different commentators who add to the content mix. So it's definitely blurred these days, and bloggers almost have just as much authority or influence as the traditional broadcasters. It's really it's a different world that we're living in.
Yeah, it's definitely and I was in TV a long time ago, but the playing field is so much more level now that it's really accessible. And I often tell folks, like, we're doing Facebook Live now, mostly because I can record it, and I'm also constantly kind of experimenting, like, oh, let's try StreamYard and see how that works. But I think Facebook Live is kind of the low-hanging fruit of video, because there is a little bit less pressure to kind of be just right. It's sort of like the come as you are party. So do you agree, or you think it's a good way to dip your toes in the water if you're not quite used to it yet?
Oh yeah, I think if you can use like platforms like Facebook Stories, like if you're really, really scared, just do a Facebook story, a 15-second video where you can talk to the camera for a short burst of time. Anything like that can. The thing is that there's really nothing to fear, but it's this mental thing, right? I say video production. I don't know if you agree, but video production is 80% mental and 20% execution, knowing what to say. Like, everything else kind of falls into place after you get over the mental challenges.
Yeah, I know. And a lot of folks will say, well, I don't know what equipment to buy, and I don't know this or that. I'm like, look, if you have an iPhone, you're good to go. You don't really need much more than that. So
even your webcam, right? I mean, I'm using an external webcam. I'm assuming you might be too, or maybe you're using a computer's webcam. But the equipment is so accessible these days. I have a couple of clamp lights, right? Like Home Depot clamp lights. They're not even they're work lights. They're not expensive lights, and I put some daytime balance bulbs in them.
Yeah.
Make sure they're shining on your face, and people are like, I don't know where to put the lights. Put it on your face.
I know. And I say, like, people say, like, well, I want to have some kind of equipment or this or that. It's like, okay, I got my little Yeti blue mic here, and and I like, all right, well, really, if you do feel like you need equipment, like I've got a couple of lights and a mic, it's like, all right, you can still $300 maybe, you can definitely be good to go. So
you compare that to like when I was working in news, when I was on air, it was still the standard definition. It was still analog when I was back on air. I'm not on air anymore. Camera was like $60,000. Like broadcast cameras, like the lens was all separate, viewfinder separate. Back in the day, the camera would be separated from the recorder. It's just a huge expense. And these days, you use your phone. Even if you want to buy a camera, like $500, you can buy a pretty good camera. $1,000, you can buy a camera. Like, it's pretty affordable these days when you think about it.
Yeah. And, speaking of the old days, like I remember when I was at E, I mean, this is ancient history, but they had Avid editing systems, and it was like, you walk in and it's like, oh my God, this is like NASA. They got like 15 screens and computers everywhere. I'm like, now it's like, oh, you want me to edit something for you? I'll do it on this, People
are like, how do you do that? Just start playing with it. You just got to start pushing buttons and tapping and playing around and swiping it. It'll work.
Yep. So on your webinar tomorrow, and again, I assume it's going to be recorded. So if people sign up for that, where can they go to sign up?
Yeah, so I think you have a link that you can
Yeah,
share
I
with
do. I'll
folks.
put the link below here
Yeah,
after.
so share your link, and then people sign up through your link. They'll if they
Mhm.
can't make it to the live event, which is tomorrow at 8 p.m. There will be a replay, but make sure you sign up for it and do your best to make it, because I'm gonna have some awesome live bonuses. And there's
Mhm.
nothing like being alive. There's nothing like the excitement of doing something live. It's like the rush of doing it live.
Yeah, I know. Yep, that's
But
cool.
yeah, there will be a replay,
Mhm.
I'll talk about my video confidence school too, which is
Yeah,
kind of
tell
like
me
a
a little bit about that. Give us like a sneak peek if you can.
Yeah, so the Video Confidence School is the program that I developed, and it's all around the tools and the equipment and the techniques and the mindset to
Mhm.
really become a fearless video maker. And so my
Mhm.
students, they all adopt the video. I'm video fearless. Somebody, it's
Yeah.
like funny because I just coined the phrase. I just kind of came to me,
Mhm.
and the whole idea is to take you through a 6-week process. Really, I say that if you can spend I think for my first module is really the most powerful, the
Yep.
first week, because what we'll do the first week, Lou, is we'll do a lot of mindset work, and then
Mhm.
I'll teach my video confidence formula. And I'll
Yep.
give you a little sneak peek here. So basically, I boiled it down to 3 pillars where you figure out your messaging, right? Who your
Mhm.
audience is, who you're talking to. That's number one. Figure out the equipment, and it's simple. Like, I don't overwhelm you with the gears. Like, use a webcam, use some lights, use an external microphone if you want to.
Yep.
Use a smartphone, and
Mhm.
then after that, it's just a matter of getting into a routine or the habit of practicing.
Right.
And that's kind of what people is like the stumbling block, because they're like, well, I don't know what to say. Well, if you have somebody to hold your hand, we can work on the messaging together.
Mhm.
Then it's on you to practice, right? Practice in front of the mirror,
Yep.
practice to yourself, do a practice recording, whatever. Have some accountability. Folks,
Mhm.
I had one student who, her name was Misty Harris, and she went through
Mhm.
my beta, my pilot program when I first launched it.
Yep.
She was like, Amani, I don't know anything about the equipment. She's like, I'm terrified. I'm like, she had imposter syndrome where she felt like, who'd want to
Mhm.
watch me? Who'd listen to me? She's a etiquette and parenting coach.
Wow.
And she went through she went through my program, and she started going live on Facebook like twice a week, like
Mhm.
religiously, like every week she'd go live twice a week. And her fears just kind of vanished. Like, I was like, wow, you're just doing this. And it took me like 4 years to figure this out. She went through it was a 4-week program at that time.
Mhm.
She went through my 4-week program and just caught fire and just started doing her own thing.
That's awesome.
So,
Mhm.
it was funny because actually a television network reached out to her. They're like, we're interested in
Wow.
a commentator for our show. And I don't know what happened, what came out of it.
Yeah, that's
But
cool.
all this happened. It's like the magic of making video, right? You
Mhm.
never know who's going to see it, who's going to be exposed to you, who's going to meet you, who you're going to connect with, all because of video. Like,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
connected with you, I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, and I do. That's why I do those challenges, like Facebook Live challenge. Okay, let's go live every day in this month or every week or whatever. And that, I think, it gets people over that hump of like, once you get in the habit of doing it,
Mhm.
like, all right, how could it be? And I do them from like after my workout, all sweaty and gross. I'm like, okay, don't give me any crap about you need makeup or whatever, because I look like I'm about to die and I'm doing this right now.
Right.
So that's it's also good to do a few, like, experiment. Like, some people like live video, some people like control freaks like me, more like the recorded, pre-recorded
Yeah.
stuff. But there's a lot of ways to do it. So
A ton of ways to do with these. I mean, I don't know if you dabble with LinkedIn, but LinkedIn
mhm.
has their live platform now. I haven't applied yet to be a contributor there.
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook. I mean, it's everywhere. YouTube, it's everywhere.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's crazy that like YouTube. I looked up the other day. I'm like, okay, who's making the most money from YouTube? And it's that 8-year-old kid that's doing the toy reviews.
And
Vine's
that
toy.
makes a lot of sense, though, because kids have a lot of time to spend watching YouTube videos.
Yeah,
Kids
yeah.
can watch toy videos all day. Like, my son he watches Fortnite like it's a television show
Wow.
now. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I know, and it's just, that's the thing. It's like, well, this kid is killing it on YouTube because he's just having fun and showing toys, and but that's the thing. It's like YouTube has really kind of democratized everything. So it's like, well, you don't have to be a TV network anymore. You just have to have
Mm-mm.
good content and share your thing. And that's the other thing people get hung up about. Oh, I didn't get that many views. It's like, well, if you're reaching the right audience, you don't need a huge amount of views. You just need to reach your audience and your niche.
That's a good point. This is what I always say. I always say this, like, if you're able to reach one person with the technology, right?
Hmm.
Like, it could be somebody in another country, it could be
Right.
someone in another state. Like, you never know who you're going to touch. If you could just
Hmm.
reach one person who you couldn't like have a meeting with face to face, because you're in Boston, I'm in Atlanta right now, right?
Hmm.
I mean, you're making a difference. And
Right.
that's why I say you got to serve more, share more, and then you can sell more, right?
I
Because you
love
want to
that.
serve
Yeah.
and share, And then that's kind of the way I kind of think about it. So
Yeah, I love that. That's a great way to put it, because that's, everybody's like, well, I have stuff to share, but I'm just too self-conscious about it. It's like, well, look, don't keep it with you. Just get it on out there. And,
yeah. I mean, how important, how much do you value? Like if you had a cure to cancer, are you just going to be like, I'm afraid to share it?
Yeah, right.
Keep it in your briefcase, right? And there are people who could, they could benefit from your information. That's kind of how it is now.
Yep. So what was the turning point for you? Because I know you said you struggled initially on air. I mean, that's like, pressure. That little red tally light goes on. It's like you're on, and now like you were in front of. It's not like a Facebook Live where you get a few people. You were, where were you? Tampa. That's a big market. You probably had
it
a
was like
ton of
millions of
viewers.
people. So yeah, I really struggled for like, I want to say the first 3 or 4 years was just kind of like you never knew. Like sometimes I'd perform okay. Some days I was like deer in headlights. And it's just I think just the reps, because after my first live shot, there was a cameraman named Scott Anderson. I'll never forget this. So I was like 23. It was like,
wow.
I just started reporting, and Scott was like, we had some breaking news. There was like a shooting, and I had to go live at the top of the 10. It was Fox station. They had a 10 o'clock news.
Yeah.
If I didn't stutter and stumble and say, it wasn't even probably understandable, really. He looked at me, he was like, well, you know what, Amani, the good thing is that it's all about your reps, and you can only get better from here.
Yeah. I know
it was that bad, but
you got to put in the time, and that's why I tell people to start with Facebook. It's like, look, if you want to practice and be off Broadway, it's not like you're gonna initially have 1,000 viewers or something. You got to just get in there and practice.
Yeah, and especially if you go live like on your personal page, it's not like your business page. They're all your friends and family generally, right? There might be some business contacts, but they're all more of a personal. It's more of a personal contact, and they're not going to get on there and troll you. Most people be really supportive when they see what you're doing.
Yep. Cool. So tell us one more time before you wrap stuff up, unless there's anything else you want to share about the webinar tomorrow. 8 p.m. Eastern.
It's 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'm just going to share my video confidence formula. I'm going to share case studies. I'm going to share equipment. I'm really going to give you the whole package in like an hour's time. So it's going to be like a masterclass. I really encourage any of your viewers to come check me out. I love to connect with them. And, we're like one little social media family. So we're the broadcasters of social. There's one other lady that I met. Her name is Cheryl Pluff. I don't know if you've connected with Cheryl.
I don't think so.
But she's out of Canada. She was like a news director. She's like a weather, what do they call it? Weather presenter up in Canada. So she's another one of the TV folks that I've connected with. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And it's great too, because I when I started on StreamYard, Roy, who I think is watching, and April Roga and Roy Montero introduced me to StreamYard. So it's like, you don't have to be, from TV to do this. So they're showing me all this new stuff. I'm like, okay, I'll try this. And now here we are on StreamYard. They get a shout out because they sort of pointed me towards this, which is good, because the other thing I always tell folks is if you want to do an interview like we're doing, that takes some of the pressure off, because like, okay, now I get somebody to bounce stuff off and I don't have to carry the whole load myself.
It's more like a conversation anyways. It's just shooting the, hey Roy, how you doing, bro? Nice to meet you. I like that.
Yeah. So cool. So that's one of the nice things about this platform is you can do several people on at once. Right now we're going live to Facebook and YouTube, so you can go to 2 platforms at once, which is kind of cool. And of course we record it so that I think I read that the vast majority of Facebook views on video come after the actual live, because you never know who's going to be around or whatever. But it stays up there for a while, and little by little, the people see it. So
yeah, it's a replay. That's what you got to record for the replay. A lot of folks, like, they'll get on Facebook. They're like, okay, I'm going to wait 5 minutes and let people hop on. No, just start talking because you're recording.
Yeah, don't. That's the big thing. It's like, don't say, well, let's wait till more people. No, it's like, we're here for you right now. We're just going to go. And if you miss something, you can catch the replay. So
exactly. Yep.
That's awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to the webinar tomorrow night. And, sharing your insights, especially having been in the business and on the front lines on camera. So, if a reporter had initial like butterflies, then it's normal for other folks too. So he'll share how to get over that and how to be comfortable and confident on camera, which is going to be awesome.
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much, Lou.
Thank you. And I will catch up with you all soon. Thanks.
Sounds good.
Bye-bye. All right. So I can